Hi everybody, this is a different kind of video. I'm not sure if I'm going to post it. I'm going to do it, and if I think it's worth watching, I'll post it. It's going to be a bit of a ramble, so this is going to be probably the most similar I've ever been to Criminal Ollie's Sunday Bollocks. But it's not really bollocks, but it's not quite the dog's bollocks. So if you're English, you know what I mean by that. That if something's really good, it's the dog's bollocks, but if it's bad, it's bollocks. I'm not sure why we think dogs' bollocks are that good. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that. But, yeah, I wanted to do this video because I thought it would be nice to thank some people. I wanted to mark the occasion by talking about just reflecting on life and moving forward, blah, 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 that sort of, just general thoughts about life. So, a bit of context. This is July the 4th, American Independence Day. This is July the 4th, and exactly a year ago today, I was in hospital, genuinely scared. I thought I was going to die, and my family thought that. It was all very intense and horrible, and I've never really experienced anything like that before. I've been very lucky and not really been ill much. And last year, COVID got me in a really bad way, so I was in hospital for a while, and then took the whole summer recovering. And I was very scared, and I just thought it would be worth talking about it because I wanted to talk about the people, just a thank you to all the people that I had so many messages, like literally. I mean, definitely over 1,000 messages and comments on my Facebook page. A lot of it was coming through Messenger and Facebook, and I had presents sent to me from people I would never have expected presents from, and cards sent to me. It was amazing, and obviously my family were amazing, as you'd expect, and it was bizarrely life affirming. So even though it was really horrible, it was also really life affirming, and I felt very loved by obviously my family, but all those other people that sent those messages and sent all those gifts, and people saying how much they were worried about it and all that sort of stuff. So I wanted to thank all those people because they may see this. I'm gonna share this on Facebook as well, I think, so that those people can see this. Hopefully most of the people that sent those messages will see this video, because you've got no idea how much that mattered. And my wife and kids were amazing during the time, and I know that it was hard for all of us. So I want to just bounce off that and just, I've been doing this channel for a while now, and for a couple of years it's been about books, and I've tried to make it quite personal by talking about TV programs and films and things like that as well. But obviously it's mostly a booktube channel. But I've made friends on here that are other booktubers, and I've seen people do very serious videos about things that matter to them. So people that people have done sort of quite political videos about issues that they've seen in books, or Pax did a great video recently that was like the dog tag, and she put up some really honest stuff about why her dog's so important to her. And there's I know MJ, another booktuber that I watch, she talked about her dad in one of the videos, and I think it's a nice thing when you've been honest, and I think it's important to be honest and to reflect on important things. So I don't want this to come off as self-indulgent, because I genuinely wanted to thank people. It's a year later, and some of the things I was worried about hasn't happened. So when I was recovering, I was worried I wouldn't be able to sing again. But I've been singing ever since, and doing what I was doing before in the band, and it's all good, and the band are in a really good place, and it's all very positive. So it's all very positive. So I want this to be seen as a positive video, but I thought it was a nice thing to thank those people, and to talk about life in general. I mean, I wanted to kind of talk about three things. Three things that I think are the essence of life. And they kind of go up in importance, really. So the first one is curiosity. I think it's crucial, not even just important, I think it's crucial to be curious. I think if you're not curious about whatever it is you're going to be curious about, I'm not going to be specific because we're all different, but I think if we're not curious, then we end up not really, we're just sort of like surviving but not really living. I think living is about being curious, and it could be about being curious to travel to different countries and discover different cultures and that kind of thing, and different landscapes or whatever. It could be about curiosity about art and different art forms, like books and films, and it could be about curiosity about the past, curiosity about science, curiosity about history, anything like that. I just think if you're not curious, curiosity about music, I mean, obviously that's a big one for me. And I'm amazed at the amount of students I get that aren't that curious about music but want to do a 2-year course on it. That's a different conversation. But if you're not curious about something about life or a lot of things about life, then that element of life is gone and you're just surviving. So I think the more things you're curious about, the more things that spark your interest and make you want to delve further into it, I think the more alive you are. I do genuinely think curiosity is underrated. I think it's so important. And if you are at a crossroads and you feel like you need something else in your life to get you busy or to get you active or get your brain working, then I think that's what it's about. It's about being curious to find something else that get your heart pumping and get your brain working and get you interested and get you excited. So I think curiosity is really underrated, and I think that's a really big part of life. Nobody really talks about that. So I think that's my first point. And my second point is relationships. So obviously this is a bit obvious, but what I was going to say about relationships, it's not just the obvious things, my wife and kids are at the centre of my life, and I'm sure that's true for everybody that might be watching this, and their siblings and their parents and that kind of stuff. But it's not just about that, it's also these random, special, magical relationships, these found families, these people that you end up spending most of your life with that you didn't meet when you were really young necessarily, or you weren't in your family. They're not blood related, but they end up being so important in your life. That sort of thing is so special and something that you should treasure and know how precious it is and know and appreciate it, and just tell the people around, either the obvious people, the family, the best friends or whatever, but also the other people that aren't quite obvious. Tell them you love them and tell them why they're important. Tell them what they give you in your life and why you love being around them and why they get you excited and curious about life, what you get from them. Because, those unspoken things, there's no harm in saying those things. If you don't say those things, it just means that's not communicated, and that those other people might not realise how much you appreciate them and how much they matter to you and how much of a difference they make in your life. So that's my second point. And that brings me to a third point, which is really making a difference. I do think that, we're social creatures. Society evolves. We evolve as people. Our understanding of the world, our understanding of animals, our understanding of ourselves, our understanding of the universe, science, religion, morals, ethics, all these different things develop over time. And all of those things develop because of people making a difference, because people have dared to say, this is what I think, or what about if we look at it this way, or I don't agree with you on that, how about this instead, those kind of things. It's so important to have these open discussions and to celebrate the people that have made a difference. And it could be just, I'm always talking about Jim Henson because he did make a difference, but he made a difference in quite a subtle way, because what he did was he spread joy. And I think that is, again, like curiosity, is underrated. Spreading joy is underrated. People who just make you laugh, and Jim Henson did more than that, but people who just make you laugh are spreading joy, and they're doing something very important. So I do think making a difference either a political difference or a moral difference or a historical difference, a small scale difference in your family or with a friend, making like helping a friend get through something, knowing, making sure your friends or your family know that you're there for them, all that stuff. It's what life's about. So those three things I wanted to just say is why it's important to keep the flame going and to fight illnesses and to get back on your feet and carry on with those three things. Carry on being curious. Carry on with these special relationships that we don't always know are coming, that we need to appreciate, and carry on trying to make a difference. There we go. I don't know. What do you think? Thanks a lot. Bye.